I really enjoyed the addition of Molly. It's such a fresh dynamic, and the character's wonderfully voiced by Bella. And the character's naturally naive to the world, but she wants to explore it. Can you speak to, focusing the story on her wanting to go outside the island, which is all she's really known?
Yeah, I mean, well, a number of things. Thanks for starters. Thank you for what you just said. It's great. I mean, I suppose I identified with Molly most actually, and it was great for me as a new director to kind of have a new character and a new point of view to kind of like latch onto. So, because the first movie is very precious and very beloved, and obviously Ginger and Rocky were the center of that movie. It was a romantic comedy. It was about, this playboy American coming into this hen house, and this very serious British woman. Um, uh, Molly gave me a way in, I mean, obviously it's the next chapter of Ginger's story, and the next challenge for her is motherhood. The thing that really drove it was thinking about that, was thinking about Ginger actually, because all she ever wanted was freedom. All she ever wanted was the green grass between her toes. She dreamed and dreamed and dreamed about that. There's the whole thing that it drove. It was her desire that drove the entire movie of the first one. And so she gets it at the end of the movie. And, so we were like, well, how are we going to challenge that? Like, what's her next challenge? And it just seemed really a great idea to say, so she's got freedom, and here it is. And she's made it beautiful. It's a paradise. It's like chicken Wakanda, right? It's sort of safe from the world. It's got all of the technology that chickens need. It's hidden. And she brings Molly into this world, and she says to Molly, here you go, Molly, here it is, freedom. It's all yours, and you can stay here forever. And it just seemed like it would be the biggest shock for Ginger for her daughter to turn around and go like, this is not freedom for me. And to have that kind of opposite version of the island and not opposite belief, and to be a freedom seeker, just like Ginger, but seek it in a different way, and want to go off the island. And at the same
Yeah,
time, I mean, interestingly, personally, my son was a child when I started this project, and he grew up and left home during the whole project. So I've kind of personal experience in watching and knowing that you have to let go as a parent, and knowing actually that kids have to go and seek their own adventure outside of the bubble.
that's wonderful, and it's such a great evolution of the themes of the original. And what I love
Mm.
about this is rather than an escape, this movie is very much a heist movie. It's very in the vein of a Mission Impossible when it gets going. So, how was it finding, a fun twist on that formula? Because it would have been so easy to do a retread, but this is much more rewarding for fans.
Thank you. I'm glad. Yeah, I mean, that was the risk, because it was, I adore the first movie. So many people do. And it was a little bit, um, it's a challenge to kind of like move away from that. But I'm glad we did. And the first movie had this log line that kind of unlocked it. It was The Great Escape with chickens. And that was the summary of that. And it unlocked. So with this movie, we were always looking for something like that to unlock this, to kind of set it off again. And it was this time they're breaking in. And as soon as someone said that, it just instantly just conjured up all these images of the chickens with, like clever props, funny sort of visual humor, and like all the ingenuity that goes into a Mission Impossible action sequence, but done with chickens and pencils and bottle openers and domestic objects, and it just just that one line, simply that one line, it just made a smile.